And we are live. Welcome, everybody. It's unusual. Typically, we are live on Wednesdays or Thursdays, but today we learned something new, and I know there's a lot of questions. I've gotten a lot of DMs, and I'm assuming, Rajiv, you probably got a lot of DMs as well. So this is what you need to know, what we know, and what you need to know kind of situation, and we'll go from there. And yeah,
let's
but go ahead, Rajiv.
let's start with the problem, the bottom lines, and then the details. So,
Okay, can I do?
sorry.
Can you do a quick disclaimer?
Oh, disclaimer. Yeah. Anything I say, you don't endorse necessarily. Anything you say, I don't endorse necessarily. We are two independent people just coming together for the party. Okay.
And no
So
client me.
this is not specific legal advice, nor does it create any attorney-client relationship. Okay.
Yeah.
Do try to get in touch with your own lawyers. And if you don't have, you want to consult. The problem is we are pretty busy and we would love to help as many people as we can. But I have no time. People want to talk to me. I am backed up about anywhere from 4 days to a week, even if I need time for myself. And that's just the nature of things because we didn't know this was coming. Otherwise, we would have made room for it. Started a couple of days ago. I started. Yeah, go ahead.
I just also want to, while we are here, I know people were asking me in last session, I didn't share the QR code for long enough. So I want to share this. I'm going to be in India. If you are planning to come for fall 2025, April 26, 27, and May 4th, we're doing this workshop. We're going to talk about job hunting, university shortlisting, visa, etc. Here's the QR code. Here's your chance. Take a screenshot. And again, it's a live session, so you can go back and watch it. And if you are an international student wanting some extra help with your job hunting, we also have a job hunting course and community. We, as in me, Royal V. Rajiv is not going to be part of that job hunting course.
No.
But yeah, that's really it. And I actually, Rajiv, before you start, I actually heard from, again, I've been involved with a lot of universities, international department. And so they told me this is happening and they are also learning what's going on. And so then you send me the document and I was like, okay, let's just, get on a call. So I'm excited. Excited for people to know what's coming, but not exciting news.
Yeah, it's not a good scene. There are no good choices. So a couple of days back, I started hearing whispers from universities that, oh, this is weird. This is happening. People's SEVIS are terminated. And we don't know. Typically, DSO is in charge of the SEVIS. So today it came to a complete meltdown. We got so many emails, LinkedIn messages, calls from people. So I thought the best thing to do is to write down whatever I can think of. And I'm still developing that document. And I gave you a link to that document. Can you show that document?
Yeah. I am.
So this is Sumanji was asking me, why are we not sending out PDFs? I said, well, I want to keep adding to this document because I could change my mind about some things. So these are just our preliminary thoughts. So if you go to the very top, you see this is version 2 already. So I've been working on this memorandum, trying to point out to people what is going on, what are the bottom lines, what you can do. So you can read this. You will have the link. I'll have the link. Our office will have the link. So you can just keep reading it. I'll keep refining the memo as we go along. So they suspend SEVIS. And I heard from different students. I was able to get some emails I could attend to. Many I could not because I am busy. I have a job. So there were the people on the one end of the spectrum who had no idea what was going on. They had nothing negative in their background. Okay. Can the government make a mistake? And what is negative anyway? Negative is something in the social media. So if you said something about the the system here or Trump. I mean, it's a very wide. I have a comment in Economic Times from yesterday, and you can see it on my LinkedIn stream. I talked about this strange latitude that the government has. They can revoke anybody's visa for just because you said, "Oh, I hate living in America." Well, you are free to say that. It's a free country. But if you if you show any negative attitude towards the American people, culture, or its administration, that kind of a nonsense in a free world, a free country, that should not even be an issue, but it is. Okay. So until it is overruled, we deal with it. This is part of an executive order followed by a memo from the State Department. And Marco Rubio very proudly said that, oh, we revoked 300 visas. Well, good for you. Okay. So,
And for people who might not follow this, 300 F1 visas, SEVIS terminated, meaning they just sent to DSO saying like, hey, we are terminating the for these people, and what?
well,
Yeah.
TSO got no communications. They just found out when they happened to be checking services. Oh, wait a minute, what happened here? Why is this?
Oh, okay.
Okay. I haven't heard about a single DSO who said, oh, we got an email from Department of Homeland Security. See, the earlier process was, this was the most common process for the last 5-6 years. If you get arrested or convicted of a DUI, you'll get an email from the consulate, one particular department of the consulate that would say, or particular department of the State Department that would say, your visa is revoked, but as long as you're in the USA, you are okay. If you travel, you'll have to come for visa, and that's where they could do a psychiatric evaluation, make sure you're not an addict. Okay, you can't get out of the alcohol habit, so you're going around hitting people. Okay, that was the normal process. That means as long as you are in the US, there's no issue. This is much worse, because even though you are in the US, now you have to leave. SEVIS is gone. You have to leave. Chances are you are also accumulating unlawful presence, although we are a little fuzzy on the details, which means after 180 days of staying here without authorization, you cannot come back for 3 years. And if you stay here 1 year past the termination, you could be subject to 10 years. We think that is the worst case scenario. We don't have all the information yet. Okay. So DSOs are finding out, you are finding out. The question is, you've got this information. Now, what the heck do you do with it?
Yeah.
Okay. I see two choices. None of them are good choices, but it depends upon who you are, where you are, what are your resources. One is to leave. Okay. When you leave the United States, go ahead.
Who are getting impacted?
Go ahead.
Who are getting impacted? Like, how is there a criteria that they have? These are the type of people are at risk.
So that's where we are at. Thank you for reminding me. So we started with that. Who are the people who are getting impacted? On one extreme, we have people who've done nothing and know nothing. Then we have people who had court cases, but nothing came of it. Then we have people who had court cases like accidents and all, or speeding. There were court cases, but they were dismissed. Charges were dismissed. Okay. And then there were those who had convictions of minor offenses. Major offenses, you can be deported, and you will be deported. Okay. So depending upon what the crime is, there are all kinds of considerations. Okay. So most surprising are those people who have done nothing and know nothing. Okay. Was there something on their social media that we don't know about? Was there a visa violation that we don't know about? Did they work without authorization, as somebody had commented on my LinkedIn timeline? I don't know. Whatever the reasons are. Okay. So what do? Either you leave because you don't have any grace period, or you get a lawyer and start a lawsuit, $10,000 to $20,000, maybe more. Okay, that's the normal range that I know of, but it depends upon the place. Some places it might be a lot cheaper if they're smaller towns. You could do a class action. A bunch of you could get together and see if you can find a lawyer to do I have no time. There was a time I could do a lot of this, but I am so swamped already. We are busy. We don't take more work than we can do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, lawsuits or leave. What happens if you leave? Now, there is a lot of different things. If it was just a some kind of a oversight or mistake, you can even talk to your DSO before you leave and see if they can contact SEVIP and find out whether this is just a mistake.
Mm.
Although I think this instruction is coming from beyond SEVIP and they may not have the knowledge.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm.
Worth a shot.
Mm.
You could do that even when you are outside the US. Contact the DSO and say, what the hell happened, sir? Find out. Reinstatement is not a real good option because reinstatement is typically something that is circumstances beyond your control. There was a mistake, there was an error, something like that, right?
Mm. Mm.
I'm not sure this is a good case for reinstatement. And even if you have applied for reinstatement, they can put you in deportation.
Mm.
What is the big deal about deportation / removal? Well, it's hassle because even to leave, if you leave without attending court, you are automatically barred, I think, for 5 years. This is not my area of expertise, but I think this for 5 years. Okay.
Mm.
If you wanted voluntary departure that has no 5-year consequences, it could take you a year and a half to get there, and you have no work authorization. You can ask the court, but the court will have to be benevolent to do all that for you.
Mm.
Okay. So even when you have a court case, if unless there is a stay, they can put you in deportation.
Mm.
Okay. So
Mm.
to me, can you file a lawsuit from outside the US? I don't see why not. But would it be helpful? Again, I don't know. There is something called equitable tolling, that time should stop running when you are trying to get justice. So if you have not been able to attend classes and all that because you had to leave, I guess we could argue equitable tolling,
Mm.
but I haven't really looked into it in detail. So it gets complicated. So
Yeah.
leave, fight. Those are the only two choices so far. But I reached out to one of the litigators and asked him, I said, what, Jesse, his name is Jesse. I said, Jesse, what are you planning? And he said, look, Rajiv, ALA is not doing anything. American Immigration Law Association is not taking these cases. But I can do individual litigations, but he said the same thing which I already knew, which is basically we still have the risk of deportations. So not very enthusiastic about litigation unless it's totally necessary. Now, one very interesting sub case. I'm in my last semester or last year. What if
Mhm.
I have to leave? What happens to my school? I would talk to the DSO. I would say, listen, but first of all, I don't have to maintain F1 status because I'm outside the US. Can the credits be transferred to a college of my choosing in my home country? Or is there any corresponding college you have that I can go to in another country, if not USA? Or can I do the rest of the degree remotely? Again,
Mm.
remember, rules of remote studies are only applicable to F1 students. Government has its choice for distance studies otherwise. I mean, the schools have choices for distance studies anyway. So I would definitely talk with the school, my dean, uh, my department people. So that's where we are. We know somewhat what's going on, but really not quite clear what's happening.
Mm. Mm. Social media is something that you've also mentioned. But what, like, is it just a story? It could be anything.
I don't know, man. It's just it's crazy. It's like we are living in a time that has gone back to I don't know. It's an emperorship. It's not really a democracy anymore. But
But
it is what.
because of this now, again, summer is coming up. Many people probably have planned to go outside. Should they wait?
Well, if you have a problem with your service, you have already found out, right? So
Mm.
if that's not there, then your situation is the same as all the others, which we have been talking about all this time.
Mm.
Make sure you can prove that you've been maintaining status. You're a good student. I mean, a genuine student. Now, don't have to be an A student, but a
Mm.
genuine student, somebody who attends classes, does their best. So if you don't have a service issue, then you're the same as everybody else, right?
Yeah. Mm. Mm. But what if someone did have something like maybe social media worked off campus? Can they fix this or no at this point?
Before Trump, they could have fixed it. Um, typically, if you have violated your status, work without authorization is a big one.
Mm.
But working by mistake, you worked 10 days by mistake, not realizing your EAD had expired. Those kind of things were easy to fix. You could just take a new I-20, use the old visa, go out and come back.
Mm.
Just go to
Mm.
Mexico or Canada, have a cup of coffee and come back.
Mm.
But if you work without authorization, that is uh, uh, not inadvertently, but knowingly, that's very difficult to fix.
Mm.
Then come back on H1B or L1 and don't lie about your violation of status. If on DS-160 it says, have you ever violated your status? You say, yeah, I have. I worked without authorization. They can't stop you for H1L1 for those cases.
Mm.
At least not in pre-Trump era.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
One more
Uh,
thing. I just started a frequently asked questions at the bottom of that document. One of the gentlemen asked me on LinkedIn only, I'm on H1 and I have a DUI from 5 years ago. I said, well, you're on H1. They can't cancel your SEVIS.
mm.
They
Mm.
can still put you through that old procedure. But if they haven't done it so far, they're not going to do it. At least I don't see any obvious reason for them.
Yeah. Yeah. There are several questions, but I'll only stick to the what we are talking. What if my case was no bill? Can my service be reinstated?
Yeah, that's where you talk to your DSO. Because, so you are telling me and I'm listening to you. Who is listening on the side that revoked or terminated your service? That's the problem.
Mm.
How do you
Mm.
get to the decision makers? You get through to them either through your DSO or through court. There is no third way. You can't walk into an office and say, look, I have my papers, look at these. Why have you terminated my status? So talk to your DSO, say, I can present these documents.
Mm. So at this point, what's the next steps for students? Just wait and watch, like
Leave or
hope,
fight.
leave or fight. And those who haven't received anything, don't do something crazy.
Yeah, don't just leave just because you anticipate. 20 years ago, I said something mean about, I don't know, uh, the US flag. I don't like the US flag, whatever. It's just silly. But
Mm.
who knows what this government is just looking for excuses to. It's more of a political stunt, in my opinion. I don't think even they believe that they are really uh, doing anything truly positive for the country. Because what is the advantage? These people are paying their fees. They are here. Many of them will be here as good tax-paying citizens, working hard. Yes, I don't condone work without authorization, but I was never in that situation myself. So how do I make judgments about other people?
Mm. Mm.
And
Yeah.
even if you've done it, so is that such a quote unquote crime or violation for which you should be punished by just removal? I don't understand that. But again, I am not in Trump administration. I don't know what the thinking is.
Yeah. Okay. I think another. So I was dismissed from California North State University in 2022 doctorate program, clinical psychology, due to plagiarism. My F1 was rejected.
I don't think so. That is doubtful, but it might be on your SEVIS. I have to check. You can go to Yuri. Are you frozen?
No.
Okay, so you can go to the website. What is it? ths.studyinthestates.gov.
Mm-hmm.
So just Google one word, study in the states. There, they will actually have it's a site which is for both DSOs as well as for students. It will tell you what is the process for terminating a SEVIS.
Mm.
So maybe the DSO notes the reason that you were dismissed for plagiarism.
Mm. Okay. And this is not related, maybe related. My H1B expires on September 30th. I want to visit India in July and come back with my wife, H4, who's in India now, and then file for my extension as my wife is not in the US. Would it be safe to travel or would you advise otherwise?
Yeah, I think it's safe to travel, Amirji. Just make sure you carry a letter from your employer that your extension is in process, or it will be filed as soon as you come back.
Okay. All right. Well, take one last question, but again, I want to make sure people know that this don't ask normal questions because we have sessions for that. I'm going to apply for EB1, but I'm just 5 months in with my H1B and 1 month with new employer. Should I wait for some time and make my case stronger?
So I can imagine Albert Einstein on an H1B visa asking me this question. So you've done theory of relativity and you've got your H1B, but you have your H1B only for 5 months. Should you file an EB1A? Sure. The length of the H1B does not determine the strength of your EB1A. If you have the qualifications, do it now. But if you don't have the qualifications, dear gamer, then you wait until you have the qualifications and you feel more comfortable. By the way, a denial does not mean any kind of a negative marking against you in the future. But I prefer not to get denials if I can avoid them.
Can SEVIS be terminated if the student is graduated and on EAD?
Yeah. Shindeji, what happens is that even during your OPT and STEM OPT and the 60-day grace period, you are still considered to be a student, F1 status.
H1B not picked. I can choose MS Masters Day 1 CPT with current employer or move to CAP exempt one. What would you suggest?
CAP exempt, absolutely.
Okay. And guys, don't do super chat. We might not be able to take it. One of my friend got 5-year bar of 212 7AI back in 2024 when he tried to re-enter US. Section is basically inadmissible due to invalid visa. He had clean history for last 5 years in the US. He's a solid startup founder. What are his chances of getting back?
What exactly? 212A7A1, simply lack of documentation. Let me just double check. INA 212. What is it, Judy? 212A?
7AI1.
212A7I. I as in India.
No, 212 7AI.
No, that's not right.
Okay, so 7 might be typo.
Yeah, 7 is a typo. It could be 212A7A1.
Yeah.
It could be, it's 212A7A Roman 1, then I, capital I, inadequate documentation. So, that's what he's talking about. That's the rights. But why does he have a 5-year bar? Oh, I guess they would have made him the offer that you withdraw the admission, application for admission, or we'll bar you. So he has to do the 5-year bar. He should be able to come back once the 5-year bar is over. When was he denied? 24 or 29 tak he's there. There's also a section of law called 212D3. 212D3 waivers are also available. So if he has a strong enough case, the problem is, first of all, what is he going to do in the US? Is he going to do an EB1A, EB1C? Is he going to do entrepreneurial parole? For many of these things, you might have to make the investment and start the infrastructure. I'm sorry, my nose is blocked.
Yeah.
A lot of pollen here in the DC area. So anyhow, he may be able to get a 212D3 waiver if he has enough of an infrastructure that he doesn't have to spend a lot of money to create the infrastructure to try a 212D3 waiver. So I think if it's just insufficient documentation, he should be okay. But I'm surprised they've barred him for 5 years. That's very unusual.
If someone who got a fine $70 for not paying a NJ part ticket and missed the deadline pay, will this be having threat of this thing?
I doubt it, Gracie. But who knows? I mean, I can only tell you as a reasonable person, a reasonable observant of immigration law, it's a non-issue. But they can make an issue of anything. I would not worry too much about this.
I'm on F1 visa now. My visa was been revoked in October 2024 due to DOI. My master's will be completed May 2026, but my SEVIS shows active now.
Well, I'm not sure what you're asking, but even if SEVIS shows active, you should contact your DSO. And you should have explored the option to finish your master's from your home country.
Is there a way for them to check the status? I guess they can just reach out to their
Uh,
DSO.
how can we check our status? You just check your SEVIS, right? You can check your SEVIS, can't you? I have never
Oh,
done it, so
you can? I didn't know that.
I think so. Let me double check.
Yeah, Paritosh is asking if this happens, how is student notified? Do we get an email from
Yeah, that's
DSO?
the whole problem. You get an email from your university.
Yeah, that's what I was told.
It says you can't directly access or check your SEVIS, but you can use the SEVIP portal to update your contact and employment information.
Hmm.
Uh, so I guess it's through the school only. Student can use the SEVIP portal to update their address, telephone number, and employment information, but they can't directly view their record. SEVIP portals are typically designed for students who are on OPT.
Yeah. There's another one in.
Yeah, I think you're DSO mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't do this paperwork, so I don't really know the background paperwork.
In present situation, some people got visa revocation mails regarding DUI, speeding, rash driving, and I have a speeding ticket on me. Now I have a travel plan to India in May. Is it good to travel? I'm on F1 visa. Does immigration officer know about speeding tickets?
They know something. That's why you are getting those. I don't know what their access to digital information is, whether all the states are accessible. But I think if you do a deep FBI check, all the state violations are. I've seen FBI systems, so I know that they have much deeper access, and DHS has access to all those systems. So my guess is they should know about those things if they want to know.
Okay. Use consultancy to pause initial OPT unemployment clock before finding legitimate W2 job. After 6 months worked on OPT, STEM OPT, now pursuing first master's, concern about renewal due to past.
You can have a problem. We've talked about this many times. Don't do that, please. Don't go to these consultancies that say, okay, we'll give you fictitious documents. There are three operational methods here. One is they'll say, okay, you give us $200, we'll give you a ticket, we'll give you a letter saying you worked for us. That's illegal. Or they'll say, we'll pay you and then you pay us cash back. Oh, that's fraudulent. That's also illegal.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, we won't charge you anything. You can train with us, but we'll charge you for the training. I think that's debatable. I think it could be problematic. And then you have a fact pattern where they say, we won't charge you for training, but we'll market your resume. That may be a little better than the others. Okay. But then there is the best one, which says, we don't want anything from you. Just park your 20 hours with us and we'll give you work. But the problem there is the Fair Labor Standards Act, which says unless it's a true internship properly, conceived, that can be a violation of OPT status also. I have some postings on that. And I was talking about people committing fraud. Speeding ticket, 21, 25. He's my kind of guy. Class C misdemeanor. I paid the fine. Yeah, I don't think so, Aditya ji, but I have the accident cases that I was talking about to UD before we went online. I don't think we talked about them right now.
No. You didn't give the examples. You were telling me offline.
Yeah, one example was one student who said, oh, I got a ticket for driving without a license. First 2 weeks I was here in the US. Another guy said, I got a ticket without driving without a license. I thought my international license was valid in that state. And apparently there was some issue with that. And both of these guys got their SEVIS revoked. But I'm not sure that is the reason. That's the reason they are thinking, but there could be something else. So
my friend works in think tank on F1 OPT. It's first year. The company's saying that they will file H1B in third year of OPT as it's CAPS exempt. Should he agree and get it in third year or change employer who's ready to sponsor now or in second year of OPT?
well, first year company saying file H1B third year. Uh, Sarah, I would tell these people, the company, that look, even though you are cap exempt, can you just file for my cap H1B anyway? The 2 years, why waste them? Because if I get it, then I'm secure. Okay. Uh, and if they don't agree to that, I guess he could port over his OPT to another employer, just join another employer. Uh, but it's so difficult to say that in the current environment with the Trump tariffs and all, it's so difficult to say what the economy is going to do. So he's got a job in hand. Should he be going on with it? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
By the way, Sarah Chopra, did I tell you the story about Deepak Chopra? You've heard
No.
about Deepak Chopra? He's
Mm,
a new age guru. He's actually a endocrinologist. I think he's in
mm,
Boston. So Deepak Chopra happened to be traveling in the same plane, sitting next to Oprah Winfrey. You know Oprah Winfrey?
yeah. Yeah.
So they both knew each other by reputation. They had never met. And Deepak says, I'm talking to Oprah, and all of a sudden this devilish thought comes to me, and I just start laughing. And she says, what's up? He says, you know what? You must be so glad you're not married to me. She says, why? He says, Oprah Chopra. I saw
Mm.
Sarah Chopra. I thought of Oprah Chopra.
Mm.
I mean, it's a bad time, guys. We've been very stressed out all day trying to see what we can do. Just
Yeah.
it's so difficult. This situation is so damn difficult. The most frustrating thing is we don't know what we can do.
Yeah. There's no clarity.
No
Yeah.
clarity. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
Am I accruing unlawful presence while in the process of reinstatement? You know what? I don't think so. Again, I don't remember. I've never looked at this issue because if it were an issue, I would have looked at it and I would have said, don't do it. Uh, what are the chances of approval in case of SEVIS termination for a DUI? I don't know, Manojji, because it depends. Remember, who does your reinstatement? USCIS.
Mm.
And it's discretionary. They don't have to do it.
Mm.
So whether they are going to come down on DUIs or not, I can't predict that.
Mm. Here's another one. I'm on OPT period and it expired 4th July or it expires 4th July 2025. Traveling Canada by road on 16th May to 26th May. Should I apply for STEM OPT before travel? If I do, then I have
This
to
is
do.
the guy who needs your travel link.
Oh, acha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Nishantji, 4 or 5 years ago, I sat down and I noted the whole thing into a mind map. And that map is still good. It tells you about every stage of your student journey, before OPT, after OPT, before STEM OPT, after STEM OPT, before H1B. All those, they are covered in that area. Go look
Yeah.
it up.
I'll send it. Yep.
But just generally speaking, I would rather have you STEM OPT, working on STEM OPT activated before you travel.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, we covered this one. So when university dismissed me on 2022 plagiarism, they didn't give me any documents to sign. I was told to leave immediately. How should I explain this to my? This is new case.
No, the same guy or girl who had her visa denied or his visa denied when the university dismissed them for plagiarism. So it's only your conversation. All you can do is you can tell them, I don't have any documentation on this, but this is what happened. By the way, what is stopping you from getting an H1B? Because plagiarism is not a crime. It does not bar you from coming back to the United States. We already talked about this.
Oh, yes. They just keep repeating the same thing. Okay. I'd done volunteer work at my university till I had proper job. Would that be a problem?
Yeah, but if you're talking about OPT 20 hours, that's perfectly legal.
Marrying someone whose SEVIS is terminated to convert their status to be dependent.
So that depends whether they are going to come after that person for only service related or other issues. So if somebody has a shoplifting conviction, what are the implications of that? So it's not a question I can answer in the abstract. If there is no criminal issue, and what kind of dependent? If you're saying F2, that still would be a problem. But H4, L2, maybe no problem.
I just got an email from SEVIP regarding termination of SEVIS and visa revoked under criminal offense. I just had a speeding ticket in 2024. That
So
case.
this is a good case, okay, because there is no reason for his service to be terminated. So what should you do? Well, you have the same three choices, if not two. One, talk to your DSO, see if they can reach out to somebody in authority. Two, leave the country, try to come back again with the reinstatement. If you can, new I-20, maybe new visa. Or third, litigation. What would I do? At least contact your DSO first.
And the reinstatement part, they have to go through the whole F1 visa approval and everything?
So reinstatement actually comes in two flavors. What I'm talking about is really not reinstatement. It's probably a new visa. So reinstatement simply means this. Something happened because of which there was a technical violation of my status. And that can be done one of the two ways. So you're required to get it reinstated within 5 months of the occurrence. Let's say it's within 5 months, your DSO said, look, I'm going to have your service terminated, so you have to do reinstatement. They'll issue you another I-20. Now you have two choices. If you have an existing visa, which is still valid for any university, it doesn't have to be the same university, you can cross the border and come back, you showing the old visa and the new I-20. You are reinstated. Many people do that. Okay. Or you can file for reinstatement within the United States.
Same employer, location, duties, working with two clients at the same time, 9 to 5 for 3 years. H1B filed with one 2 years ago. Can employer amend the others now?
I don't understand this question. Same employer, location, duties, working with two clients. Oh, I see. So they are deploying you for two clients. H1B filed 1 year. One, can employer amend the other? Well, this is a difficult question to answer. Typically, if you are going to the client's job site, that H1B should have been amended a long time back. Okay. So if they have not amended, I think you should amend and get a visa stamp and come back. Because there's been a violation of your status.
This is an interesting one. SEVIS terminated, H1B picked, have the option for cap exempt H1. Employers okay with me being on unpaid leave until my H1B is approved. Is it violation of SEVIS termination if on unpaid STD leave, standard leave?
The problem is you're out of status, right? Because normally, if you have a cap exempt H1B, have you already filed for the H1B? He hasn't, no?
No. Have the option for H1B pick ho
So
gaya.
the problem is, if you had applied for H1, cap exempt H1, before your service was terminated, it could be argued that you are in status when you filed. Once you're out of status, then H1B is filed. That does not cure your status. You should be outside US. Let them do the H1B, get an H1B stamp and come back. The service termination hopefully is not a problem for the H1B visa.
Okay. Got a speeding ticket. What is the best action forward? Should I appeal it, since I think this is false because I was only following traffic?
Okay, that's the worst possible excuse. I don't know about worst excuse. I'm just following traffic. Does that mean that you're allowed to go 75 miles an hour? In New Jersey, everybody travels 75 miles an hour in the left lanes. But that does not change the speed limit. So that's not a good excuse or a good explanation that I was just going with the traffic. It's still a violation. The question is this a violation that is serious enough to lead to service revocation? These days, if you sneeze wrong, you are losing your service. So I don't know how to answer that question. The very best result is if you get the ticket dismissed. The second best is if you get it reduced to as little as possible. So for that, you probably need to get a traffic lawyer, go to court, talk to the government, which is state government who does the prosecutions. and get the charges reduced as much as possible.
Okay. 3 questions and I'll let you go, Rajiv ji. Okay. Guys, no more than 3 questions. Is it safe to visit this summer on F1 for health reasons if my grades were bad? Again, due to health.
Well, if you have a health issue, you should do a reduced course load. Okay.
No, but I think he's saying कि मेरा grades
No,
were bad.
I'm just saying that's the first thing you should do if you're having health issues, because reduced course load does not cause any long-term problems. Okay. So that's just for all students. If you have health issues, we can all have health issues. Just do reduced course load. With this government, I cannot tell you what they are going to look at. Whether or not you are a good student should not be anybody's concern. When I say good student, what I mean is a genuine student.
Yeah.
And if you have health-related reasons and you can explain them, hopefully it's not a problem. Can we be safe, as in all caps safe? I don't know, Shubhamji. I don't think anybody can tell you that. So if you could avoid travel, avoid it. Once you have an H-1B, it's a much better way to travel. Hopefully, even for H-1Bs, people who are listening, prepare your employer. I could be stuck there for 6 months. I can work from there. So if you can work from your home country, that's perfectly acceptable under the rules.
Yeah. Nishant, I already sent you the link. Just check the chat. It's on immigration. I sent you the link of the travel document.
Oh, I said, why are you sending me links? After I-140 is approved, more than 6 months. Yeah. So that's a little bit more complicated, okay? So this is a very long discussion, and we have it on our frequently asked questions on immigration.com, our website, okay? Once the I-140 is approved and you leave for 2 years, that green card line is very difficult to sustain. Unless you are working for the same company outside USA and you can say, well, there's a continuity in the job. Because the natural question is, if you have a permanent job, why are you leaving? You can say, well, it's a future job, but you're already working there. Why are you leaving now? So it becomes difficult. So the answer to that question is, once your I-140 is approved, you keep your priority date unless there is fraud or misrepresentation. You'll have to start your green card all over again, even if you change employers, but you carry the priority date. So whether you live in India 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years, so far that's the law.
Okay. My F1 visa expires on October 26, 2026. As per Trump's strict regulation at port of entry, can I schedule appointment this year, 2025, at any Indian consulate, or will it be Dropbox?
I don't know how far ahead of time. If I remember correctly, I think it was 4 months. How far ahead of time you can renew your visa? 1 year, I think, is too much. But you can double check with the consulate and also see their frequently asked questions. And it should be a Dropbox, as far as I know.
Okay. My passport expires on next March. I'm going to India for H-1B stamping and coming back around May end. Is there an issue with immigration with valid H-1B stamp, as my passport is only 10 months old?
Yeah. So they'll give you a visa for 3 years probably, but CBP will give you an I-94 for 10 months only. That means your H-1B is valid only for 10 months. So when you get a new passport, you have to travel out and come back in again to recapture the entire time, or apply for an H-1B extension. Because Indian consulate allows you to apply for an H-1B extension 1 year ahead of time, why don't you extend now?
Wait, ये समझा है मेरे को.
That's a long story. He understood. So,
okay.
Yeah, so problem is, it's better for you to get your passport extension now, and then go get visa stamping. H-1B extension can go on in the meantime. You can start the extension with current passport, but apply for extension.
Okay, got it. I got caught in speeding, and police thought I'm escaping, and they filed a case on me with $2,000 fine. They left me out from jail within 5 hours. Now they revoked my SEVIS and
we just
visa.
Talked about that. We had a very lengthy discussion. The whole discussion was about what to do.
Yeah. I think similar I have falling too close and 2 overspeeding under 10 miles tickets. Total 3 tickets in last 3 years. I'm on OPT.
Yep. Kulkarni Saab, I don't know what the future holds. If so far you haven't received a SEVIS violation, hopefully you are flying under the radar. You'll be okay.
Similar on STEM OPT, got H1B picked, had a DUI conviction that was closed in November. He just received an email saying his status is so
Yes, you know what I think they are doing. This is my guess. So when you have a DUI conviction, previously you used to get emails from the consulate. For whatever reason, consulate has not sent them an email. So DHS says you have a conviction. This is a ground for inadmissibility, being an addict, alcohol addiction. So we'll cancel your service. If you probably go and apply for a visa, you might be able to get it. You have to apply again. Okay.
And this is if DSO is not responding and litigation, they don't want to litigate, can they change it to F2?
No. Because the problem is you're out of status. The moment your service is cancelled, the following day you're out of status, maybe even the same day. There's no rule on this. When you're out of status, you can't do a change of status within the United States.
Rajiv ji, you didn't answer. What? Can I travel to India? You did not answer the please. Speeding ticket and I'm on F1 visa. Can I travel to India?
Well, see, that's a difficult question to answer, Kohli ji, because it's Virat Kohli. I've met him before.
Yeah.
So nice sixes, dude. So anyhow, because see, the information propagates throughout the Department of Homeland Security. It may not be available on their ready screens, but they can go find it. Will they have to find it? Will they go finding it? So I don't know what to answer. Simply because my blanket advice is if travel is optional, don't travel.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. I know there are several Class C misdemeanor, SEVIS terminated. What can you do? Please watch. There's two main options, and
also we have that link that UD will send you if you talk to her wherever you put it. So I'm trying to work on that document every day, and we keep noting the version change. It's almost like a DevOps thing going on here.
Nice. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Rajiv ji, for jumping on this. We will talk on Wednesday unless something new happens before then. But
sounds good, Yuri. Take care, everyone, guys. So sorry I can't do anything more than this, but we'll try. We'll keep going.
Yes.